Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, the Raven here, bringing you some more Neverwinter action. We're back with Portobello's campaign, the Day of the Dungeon Master event. This is week 2, and with each week, we have a new skirmish or event to go through. And this one is the Artificer's Workshop. Very fun, very interesting. There's some good parts to it. I still like Trial of Traps better. That's my favorite so far. But there's only been 2, so I mean, that's not a big whoop. Anyway, I would like to speak with y'all a little bit about the Portobello's campaign ladder. You have daily tasks to do on the right, and you have a campaign ladder raised on the left. On the left, every 100 gives you a special item that has to do with the event. On the right, you got 3 sections. Each one has a contest, a dungeon, or a professions task. For the dungeon, obviously just queue up and beat the dungeon. For the contest, they start every 15 minutes on the hour, so make sure you're in an appropriate zone, and it's like 9:15 or whatever on the clock. For professions, I mean, that's straightforward. Whatever task they have, just go in your profession section and work towards it. If you don't have that particular profession unlocked or not at a high enough level to get the item, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the road. And on the green ladder, as you earn adventuring accreditation, you get 4 for beating the main task, and you get 4 for doing certain other events too. And I think for these contest, the side contests and the little side tasks you have on the parchment, they give you like 3 or 4 depending on which one it is. So it helps you go up the ladder faster. So it's not a bad idea to do those things. You don't want to have to grind the event all the time. So it's just another way to earn points towards the fun rewards or whatever the campaign offers. And also the second thing is the crystal dice. Every day you have a chance to roll the crystal dice. It takes 6 of the crystal dice to be able to roll the main dice, and as you can see, I have 2. The easiest way to get crystal dice is to do Portobello's campaign. I mean, not Portobello's campaign, but Respin's game. Respin's game gives you 3 dice per round. 1 from the first mini boss, 1 from the main boss, and 1 inside the chest at the end of the match. So if you do it 2 times, you'll get 6, and you make sure you pick up everything, you'll get 6 crystal dice, and those 6 crystal dice will allow you to roll the main dice. Now that you actually want to stay up on, because it takes 20 hours for each dice roll in the event, and you have to roll it 20 times to get the maximum award. However, the event's only like 30 days. So if you skip like maybe 6 or 7 days, like you don't pay attention to it for a while, you won't be able to, because it takes 20 hours to roll each time, you won't be able to just hurry up and roll it up at the end of the event. So you want to stay on that. So anyway, we signed up for the Artificer's Workshop. One thing I'd like to point out is this guy over here. If you take the task from him every day, he also gives you adventuring accreditation.
They should call this Lexo.
You find yourselves in an artificer's workshop, filled with gas, and crazy Smurfeblin running around. Looming large in the shop is a hovering construct resembling a beholder. The crystals that power the construct are scattered about the workshop, which has closed vents set into its walls.
These adventurers really stink.
All right.
Maybe
Now
we
we're in
should change
the
their
Artificer's
rations.
Workshop. First thing for the first match, what you want to do is spread out and close the vents that are pumping out the poison gas. The gas isn't really that deadly, but over time it can wear you out if you're lazy on
They already did.
closing the vents. When I first played this, a lot of people were confused as to what to do, and I wound up drinking a lot of potions to keep the damage off, the damage over time effect from the poison off of me. If you have a healing companion, then you probably won't even see that effect at all. Or if you're a cleric or something like that, somebody who has a strong like regenerative ability or healing, self-healing ability, like you won't even like feel it, gas or no. But for everyone else, it is still in the best interest of closing events, because that's how you progress the match. Now, as far as the enemies, they're scattered randomly throughout the board. My policy with them is if they're in my way or they annoy me by like throwing something at me or hitting me with like a power or something like that, yeah, then I'll kill them. But most of the time, no, I just focus on finding the vents and closing them. Also, it's helpful to spread out. If you see your fellow teammate already headed towards a vent, pick another one. It's kind of annoying when people see you headed towards one, they want to race you towards it. It's not a race. You don't get a
The gas is
prize.
cleared, but the Sverfeblin are still running about. They intend no harm, but you think it might be prudent to knock them out. For their own good, of course.
Okay, I want to let the narrator, speak that part of the story. But anyways, you don't get a prize for beating another player to a vent level or whatever. Now, section 2, those crazy Sverfeblin, the deep gnomes you saw running around flailing their hands, you gotta catch them and knock them out. You're not killing them, you're just like giving them a swift kick. Sometimes they like walk away from you like crazy or whatever, so you gotta catch them, as you see what I'm doing now. But once it connects, you give them a kick and they flop to the floor. They're also like the vents, they're scattered throughout the map, and it helps, if everybody spreads out and, finds their own Sverfeblin or whatever to knock out, or the deep gnome to knock out. If you see one that's already knocked out, just move on. Once again, with the enemies will respawn. Just, I use the same policy. If they're in my way, I kill them, or if they hit me with something or, piss me off some kind of way, I kill them. But other than that, I just look for the gnomes. Now this event, actually, you can do faster than the Trial of Traps because it depends on the speed of how fast you get the levers closed and the gnomes knocked out. Like the faster you move and the more efficient your team is, the faster you can get it done. So if you plan on grinding one of them, it would be a good idea to get a good team together who knows what they're doing and pick this one a lot because you can get through the content that much faster. So anyway, when all the gnomes are knocked out, you gotta gather at the Metal Beholder construct for part 3 of this event.
A mind flayer appears. It uses its telepathy to transmit its malevolent intentions. It also boasts about the imperviousness of its psychic shield.
Alright, for part 3, you have a mind flayer who's encasing a shield. Take out the guys around them to keep them from interfering. But your main goal is to gather the crystals, the green crystals you see on the table, just scattered throughout the map, and put them in the braziers that are underneath, or the torch holders that are underneath the Metal Beholder construct. See, there's one. And if you go over here, there's another one. Most of the times, though, your team, like, there's some people who will go grab them first, so they'll get those and put them in there. Once you fill up all 4, your explosion happens, boom, and you see the beholder put the laser on that shield. That's the only way to crack it. You can't break the shield with any amount of your powers or player abilities. So once again, he has henchmen come out, clean them up, and then go for more crystals. Sometimes, depending on whether you're in combat or not, you can't pick up, the crystals won't be selectable. But, or if you already have one, you won't be able to pick one up also. So you'll put that in there and boom. Once there's 4 of them, the same thing happens. You get the laser effect from the beholder and the shield goes down. Use this time to, put the whoop down on the mind flayer. Boom. Once he's gone, take out the rest of the little guys.
As the mind flayer expires, it uses its telepathy to issue one last telepathic message. I hate you. You can now focus your attention on the beholder tank.
Alright, now that everybody's defeated and cleaned up, there's a good time, a good opportunity to pick up all the loot that was on the ground. A lot of times when you're closing the vents or you're knocking out the little deep gnomes, you're spread out and people are killing things in some areas that that you don't see. So there's loot on the ground that you aren't aware of. So I'd like to take this time after I kill everything to kind of scout around, look for the good stuff, scrolls, stuff to sell. Also, if you go to the beholder tank, you can get a random item or a random effect from the beholder tank. Like as you see, this time I received red vines, the the Twizzlers candy or Neverwinter's version of the Twizzlers candy. I've gotten that a couple times. There's one time though I got a damaging effect, so it's random. You might get hurt. I didn't get killed, but it was just like, you know, a small damage over time effect came from the Beholder tank. But I still feel it's worth it to talk to it to just get a little extra freebie. You know, freebie doesn't hurt. And also, don't forget your main reward. You get 4 adventuring accreditation, crystal dice, snack pack, and a rune of different strengths. I think the highest you can get is rank 5. And this person sent me a party request. I don't accept party requests from people who have like numbers mixed into their name, especially if it's their first, you know, their player name, because a lot of those accounts are just bot accounts, and they're getting really sophisticated now. It used to be they just ran around the map blindly, like beating the crap out of mobs or like doing the same event over and over and over. But now it's like they make it to where they want to join up with you, and they basically just kind of, if you watch them play, they you know, they're kind of like always doing something stupid or lagging behind or whatever, so it can be very annoying. Anyway, talk to this dude. There's another way to get accreditation towards the campaign ladder. Just do the events, and every day he gives you a chance to do more events. If you find all the dice and kill the dummies, that'll knock out 1, and doing one of the mini games will knock out 1 too. So anyway, I'm your host, The Raven. I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you feel about Portobello's campaign. And have a great day.